Not here. I think it's later, isn't it?
No. It's in the original thing. It was every morning at 9. The task thing changed it. I think tomorrow will be 9. Then tomorrow we're going to get our next.
I think we'll get a task. It might be a short.
When
term.
do they have the first boat? How long?
I think Wednesday.
Next Wednesday?
No, because we're Tuesday tomorrow, and then the next day. 2 days we're off the vote.
Yeah. So that's a week. We'll be here a week.
We'll have been here a week on Wednesday. Yeah.
No, on Tuesday we will. We came in on Wednesday, so on Tuesday will be the 7th. Tomorrow's the 7th day.
Yeah, but it's when the week comes. It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
But we might be doing the nominations tomorrow night, and then it lasts over a day. I say Ken.
They explain in the rule book how it works, so we can talk about it.
I'm nominating Ken and Donnie.
No, you can't talk about that. You can't talk about that. It's like this.
Beer.
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be a relief to be able to go
you're drinking white beer.
And it just says beer.
I know. What color?
You know, or make a bread, just bread. Put out a line, but make a beer and a wine and it's beer. What kind of beer do you drink? Beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know, but no, I drink beer. You know, right next to my house. No, all right, 6 miles.
Will I get a fuck at the end?
No, it's like Einstein go equals MC square. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not. No, when you say...
for you, maybe.
Yeah. It's all relative.
Yeah. Nah, talk to the face, the hand ain't listening.
Oh, God.
In your world, maybe.
But you... I had that same thought about...
Sorry,
if a Martian came down.
Yeah. I always think if you can justify it to the Martian, then you're pretty heads up. A firefighter puts out fire. You know, yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
But I loved that last night with Ken. I thought that was a little microcosm of all art and how it's understood. He's the one that made the movie about the tits. Very famous film director, apparently. He made a movie about talking tits. Well, it's good riddance for it. Go on. What have I got in the back of my head? Oh, it's from the water from this. It's like gone, you know. What does it
you
matter?
know why I'm laughing? Because otherwise I'd cry. It's so sad.
It's sad, but that's tragic.
It's tragic.
And that is a story. And that is a story that you could take outside this house and tell. You know, that's like one of the tales. You know, we had that.
And then you wonder why a man says, I'm out of here.
Well, we have a lovely start.
But I mean,
you know, starts of jokes when a standard kind of things. I had one in him, you know, they have in the back of my cab once. There's a good old English one. I had that Ken Russell in the back of my cab once. Apparently, he's a very famous film director. He told me he made a movie about talking tits. I said, that's no fucking art. He got out. I've never seen him again. Good riddance if you ask me. It will run and run forever. It's the basis of an international joke. I was stuck in a house once with Ken Russell.
Well, could you imagine? I mean, try and explain Picasso or...
well, we should have a try tomorrow. We should work on Jackie. I think we should explain some great art to her.
Let's try and explain it.
That should be our challenge. Let's try and...
You are crazy.
I'll tell you what. You do Bergman and I'll do Buñuel.
Okay. I don't know that much. I can do Bergman. I can explain. I'll try and explain Bergman.
I can do Buñuel with the sheep, you know, and the eye. Yeah. Large door.
He used to come out of those movies and go, all right, with the sheep, with the...
You know the exterminating angel, where they're all in the building and they can't get out of it and they can't explain why. They can't get out of the church, but nobody can actually say, let's leave.
I know.
Fantastic. I think about that. I was thinking about that last night. This is like Buñuel.
We should think of this, or Fellini. Well, you know, the Satiricon, or some of those movies you go, what? You know, it was just one endless visual thing.
Exterminating Angel was fantastic. They were all stuck in a place and they couldn't get out. And they were, you know, because nobody actually had the courage to say, let's leave. Every time it came to, what about, no. They're all too nice, you know, It was
But
a
I was
whole
just
bunch
having
of
a
people.
conversation with Carol about politics and stuff, and it was this: she was incapable of making a concrete statement about anything. And when I would nail her down, she would just switch and go. She would go in circles. Well, it was unbelievable. Here, I tried to pin, and once she would get logically down to, she would just reverse and spin around, and she would change the word and change the argument and change the whole thing. And it was like that. It was like. So you can't get out of the room. You can't ever go from A to B to C to D. You go from A to B, and then they jump back to D.
Do you know when we were? Do you remember? I was getting really mad about the national health.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. The other night, and I was saying, look, for fuck's sake, we can fix this.
Right.
Everything is fixable. It just takes a little bit of common sense. So I said, look. And she's talking about, and but you get the bureaucrats, and you can't do this, and you can't do that, and then you do this, and of course, but even if we fixed it,
I
know, and I'm going, and I started getting infuriated. I started getting angry. It was the first
me too.
Night.
She had me yelling.
She had me. I wanted to hit her.
She had me yelling. I go, wait a minute. She goes in circles.
Look, this is really serious. People's lives are at risk.
Could you imagine trying to?
Can we fix it?
I was thinking to try and make to make a movie with that mentality, be like, well, we got to raise it. Yeah, well, how are we going to raise the money?
But your discussion of socialism hits it better. Because the first night she said, I'm a socialist.
She did.
And she's perfect. Because she is dancing around the campfire. And not putting the fire out.
Forever. Terrified of... She made this thing where you can't say something is bad. So then we chased that for a while. And she ended up... Then when I pinned her down, she said something was bad. I said, well, you just said that was bad. And she said, no, I mean, you shouldn't do that. I mean, it was...
Part of my fun with Mute was annoying her. I had so much fun annoying her with Mute. It was fabulous. She said, I can't take this and sit there and try and work it out. I said, well, I was thinking Mute would think, it's really good for you to actually work it out because you might actually get to the point of saying, you might actually find out what I'm saying. Because it's so simple. Because if it only takes a little, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. But you still have to do a little bit of work to actually, say what it is. Could be, and yet she'll go on the game where everybody's saying, I spy with my little eye. She'll go, I spy with... And it's the same thing, but she doesn't realise. It's classic, and it's what a lot of the British institution is all about.
It's all about that.
Of course it is, yeah. But she doesn't see it.
It's all about that, and that's why it's a quagmire. It's a quagmire from the outside. It's the boon. It's the external being waiting to be. It's just
exterminating angels.
That's what you say.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is,
round and round. And you go mad when you try and have a concrete or a logical conversation.
I left my country because I love my country, and I can only look at it from outside to really understand it. You read Shakespeare from Montana. I bet you can understand Shakespeare a lot clearer